What's up, homies? We are jumping back into the retro game collection. This time, instead of the PS2 collection, though, I got something a little bit different. We're jumping into my Gamecube and Wii collection, and I'm excited to show you guys some of the hidden gems I got on this system. So without further ado, let's take a look. Alright, so first we got up a classic. To some people, a classic to some people, we will say. It is Resident Evil 0. You guys played this one, man? I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't even played this one all the way through. I feel like a fraudulent Resident Evil fan, but this game it's really fun. I think the biggest thing that got in the way of this game were some of the enemy choices and also the convoluted inventory management system with having to like drop a lot of items with one character just to pick them back up with another. I feel like if they could have streamlined a lot of the inventory management in this game, the complaints probably wouldn't have been nearly what they were. But all in all, as time has passed and like a lot of the vitriol and the hatred has gone away, this is a solid Resident Evil game, man. It's still really fun. Rebecca's Bay. I forgot I don't even remember the dude's name. I was going to call him Chad. Close enough. But this game is cool, man. Definitely an alright addition to the Resident Evil franchise. Definitely not the best, but absolutely not the worst. So that's the first GameCube pickup I got for you guys. Well, not necessarily pickup. I've had this thing for a while. You know what I meant. Alright, homies. The next one we got here is Robotech Battle Cry. Now, this one I feel like is a bit of a hidden gem. It's hilarious, man. You guys see that EB game sticker down there? That junk don't even exist anymore. That tells you how old this thing is and how long I've had it. This game is really slept on. I remember playing this as a kid, and I think that it's pretty damn difficult, or maybe I just suck, because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, most of the time when you're a kid, you're pretty garbage at most games, so I don't know if it was actually this game being difficult or if it was me being trash at it, but I feel like this is a game that's really cool that just gets slept on by a lot of people. I never heard it, never hear it get talked about. So, combat system, there's 3 modes that your mech has, where you have like your standard mobile suit type thing, and then it has like a halfway mode between like the mobile suit and then the airplane. And maybe I should give some background, because this is based on the Robotech series, right? And Robotech has the mechs that transform into planes, and like it's just, the anime is hit and miss for some people. Like, it's definitely a classic, but there's a lot of different versions of Robotech, some better than others. But this game, man, while I actually don't know how much it really has to do with like tie-in to the actual anime and like the characters, I don't really remember a lot of that, but gameplay wise and graphics wise too, this has a really cool cel shaded look to it. I feel like this game gets slept on, man. Not a lot of people talk about it, and it's definitely worth a discussion. You know, there's some cool stuff in this. So if you see it out, a little bit of a hidden gem, Robotech Battle Cry. Next one is a classic, man. I had so much fun with this bad boy, and in the youth, man, hanging out with like the younger brother, the cousins and friends when they would come over. It is Ultimate Muscle, the Kinnikuman Legacy. So this game is one of the most fun multiplayer experiences I've ever had. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kinnikuman or Ultimate Muscle, but it's a wrestling series, right, with just all these crazy over-the-top characters. And like the anime and mangas actually can be like pretty intense, and it has some kind of edgy subject matter in it. And then it came over to the US and got the 4Kids treatment, right? You can even see like the Fox logo and all this other sort of stuff on it, and it got watered down a bit, but the game didn't get watered down, man. This game, if I'm remembering correctly, is run on the Aki engine, which is like a classic wrestling. You know you're about to get some solid wrestling action when you hear that name, and this game is just so good, man. I remember performing Muscle Busters and Red Rain of Pain. Y'all know about the Red Rain of Pain, man, from my boy Jaeger. He's got the bicycle helmet on. There's too many classics in this game. And then you have Sunshine, and oh, the memories are coming back, man. If you guys haven't played this game, do yourself a favor and pop it in. If you're playing on single player, it's still fun, but it's even better if you got some homies or other people like that, man, to play it with. Sit down and just play this junk on multiplayer. You are not going to regret it. Ultimate Muscle, the Kinnikuman Legacy for the GameCube. Now this right here, this is a real hood classic, man. Oh, it is none other than Tatsunoko versus Capcom for the Wii. Oh, this game is so good, dude. I love the opening sequence, the opening theme song. You can push yourself to the limit. It's too good, man. Outside of me getting into the little opening theme song a little too much, this is a solid versus series game, man, where over here in the States, I don't feel like we're nearly as familiar with Tatsunoko. I don't know how many of the properties or things of that nature that we've even got over here as far as like games, manga, or anything like that. But the representatives they have on the Capcom side are folks that we rarely ever get to see in the Versus Series games, man. We got Batsu from Rival Schools. We got Soki from Onimusha. We got the freaking Vital Suit from Lost Planet. This game has some really sick picks in it, man. And on top of that, the battle system is it's so good. It's a 2-on-2 tag game, so it's a little bit less nutty. It's 2-on-2, right? I'm pretty sure it's 2-on-2. It's been a while, but it's a 2-on-2 tag game, and it's because of that, it's a little bit less nutty than your typical Marvel vs. Capcom situation. But it's so good, man. The character models are great. The game looks beautiful, and there's a lot of course, with it being a versus game, you can get so technical with it. And there's like the delayed cancels, and I think they call it Baroque canceling in this game, where you can like it's almost like Roman canceling in the Guilty Gear series. You guys gotta check this out if you're a fan of fighters. Please go play some Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, a classic fighting game for the Wii, and I hope it gets a re-release. Sometime in the future. Next up, we have Sengoku Basara, Samurai Heroes for the Wii. This is a game that I spent a lot of time with, man. So at first glance, people might think that this is just like a basic or a simple Dynasty Warriors clone, but it's so much more than that. The reason that I like the Sengoku Basara series more than I like the Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors games, and that low-key hurts me to say because I really do love those games, but Sengoku Basara has so much more in the way of character differences and complexity of mechanics. The thing that sticks out the most to me in this game is how every character has a mechanic unique to them that separates them and how they play from all the other characters. Like on a basic level, you can play it very button mashy, but if you want to start to like play it at a more advanced or technical level, you have to learn the ins and outs of each character and what they're good at, right? You have some characters who unlock their full potential when you do perfect charges. You have some characters who unlock their potential when you do aerial based fighting. You have some characters who unlock their potential with like certain combo strings, and it's really unique, and it's not something that the Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors series has really done a lot of as far as really making the characters extremely unique from one another, and that's something that Sengoku Basara does extremely well as the presentation and the stylishness of this game. This cover does not do it justice. It looks so boring, but the actual game is just like it's so full of style and has such a cool aesthetic to it. It's great, man. I hope that we get another localized Sengoku Basara game over this way, and I'd be excited to jump back into the series because there's a lot to love, man. Really, really good games. So this is actually one that I picked up a while ago, but I haven't touched. It's the Rygar game that came out for the Wii, man, and that's the subtitle, The Battle of Argus. That's what it was. I actually don't know anything about this game, man, so you guys can tell me more about it than I can tell you. I picked it up because I found it on the cheap, and I enjoyed the Rygar game for the PS2. But this one, I really have no clue about, man. I don't know how solid it is or even really how it plays. So I'm excited to give you guys more info when I actually jump into this. I can tell you if it's good, if it's ass, or like even if it sucks though, man. It's cool to have because I feel like this is going to be something that's like difficult to find. You don't really just find Wii and GameCube stuff laying around like that anymore, and especially some of the more obscure titles. So this would be something that I got to learn more about actually. Next up, another hood classic over here. We got Virtua Quest for the GameCube, man. So this game is like a 3D adventure, like platformer / fighter, where it's so weird, right? So you play as this kid who goes into like the Virtua Fighter universe, and you have to fight the different Virtua Fighter characters, and you inherit their souls, which then give you access to their moves, so you can go on and beat up more of the Virtua Fighter characters. It's so odd, but it's so sick. It's such a sick premise, right? Of like going into the world, like beating the hell out of like Akira, and then he gives you the tatsunoko. Teaches you how to like shoulder bash somebody, and just like they show you training with the character. This game is so cool to me, man. It's mad random, and it's not one that I hear people talk a lot about, but as a Virtua Fighter fan, as somebody who loves just fighting and choreography and sick animation and stuff, this game's really cool. Not the biggest fan of the way the main character looks. He gives off a lot of like really early to mid 2000s anime character energy, and they have like a weird aesthetic to them that I'm not super into, but it's fine, man. That's not the most important thing, man. The most important thing is like the gameplay, how fun it is, and this stuff has some unique and really cool stuff going on. Virtual Quest for the GameCube. Alright, we got two more, gang. So this next one, another hood classic. You Can't See Me, Day of Reckoning for the GameCube. This game, Day of Reckoning 2. This might be my favorite wrestling game of all time. It really might be. And the reason is for the 60 FPS frame rate and how smooth this game plays, guys. Like, I cannot adequately tell you about just the smoothness and how like buttery this game is to play, right? Where a lot of wrestling games, and especially games that come out now, the graphics like look better, even so, though some of them at this point look really creepy and uncanny valley. But this game's animations and just like the movement of the characters and the time and care that they put into making the game like plays well, and like it's so much more smooth and just well put together than a lot of like the more modern wrestling games, that it makes me sad and makes me appreciate this game all the more. This is another classic game I used to play with a friend, and then the biggest memory I got from this game, right, is when you're having a match, and if you hit the ref will come and start kicking your ass. Like, I remember we got into a match and we would actively like avoid trying to mess with the ref because he'd come in, he could stunner you, dude. Like, I've never seen that in a game where like you hit the ref and the ref hits you back. It's too much, man. In Soviet Russia, ref hits you. I can't do it, man. So, Day of Reckoning 2 for the GameCube, super solid wrestling game. Highly recommend it to anybody that's a fan of wrestling and wants a solid experience, especially for a retro solid experience. And the last one we got up is another one that I don't really know how much I could tell you guys about, man. I don't know if I remember it too well, but it's Tinchu Shadow Assassins. And I love the Tinchu series, right? Don't get me wrong, Tinchu games are so sick, but I think I picked this up right around the time that I got rid of my Wii or like something like that, and I just really never got the time to like sink any sort of like substantial time in this game. So I couldn't tell you if it's garbo. I can't really say much about it. So this is another one where just like leave me something in the comments, man, and tell me if you played this, tell me what you know about it, and if it's cool, like if it's bad, like what you guys think. But this is another one like I talked about with Rygar almost, right? Where these retro games for like the older systems that are third party and just weren't really big, they get so difficult to find as time goes on, where like I'm glad to just have this in the collection, even if I don't necessarily think it's the most solid game ever, you know. I actually recently started jumping back into the Tinchu games, and it just reminded me how much I love them and how much I wish we had another one, man. I think the most modern release for Tinchu has been for the Xbox 360. I think it was Tinchu Z, and I sometimes cosplay that like Sekiro is the new Tinchu when I'm really feeling in denial and I need a Tinchu fix. You can pop in Sekiro and kind of get that itch scratched just a little bit, but the game's definitely overdue for another entry, man. It's a hood classic. So there you have it, guys. The GameCube and the Wii selection for today's video. pretty solid picks, right? Like, not too bad of stuff. Let's go ahead and get ready to wrap things up. I'll catch you guys here in a second. So that is the video for today, gang. What you guys think, man? I feel like we had some certified hood classics on there. Are you guys doing any retro game collecting yourselves at the moment? Or especially for the GameCube or the Wii? The only thing that I dislike about trying to hunt for these games right now is just the expense. All the stuff in the retro scene at this point has definitely shot up in price, but I feel like that's especially true with like the GameCube and the Wii, man. We all know at this point how Nintendo does when it comes to prices, and stuff like rarely ever goes down. But here's hoping, man, that you guys will be able to find some cool deals on stuff. Hoping that I can find some cool deals on stuff, and we can keep building up our collection and having some sick things to play and to share with other people. So that being said, let's get ready to head out, man. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video, man. Hope you enjoy. See you later.